Now that's what I'm talking about. Yes? Wow. This is our B12 for the week, yes? This is not the place to come and sleep. It's the place to wake up and be totally alive. Let's give them another beautiful... So Billy Graham arrives at the airport, and the limousine driver is right out front to take him to his home. And he looks at the guy and he goes, you know what? I'm 87 years old, and I've never driven a limousine. Would you let me? And the guy says, well, sure, no problem. So Billy gets behind the steering wheel, and they're going on the little mountain roads there. Well, a rookie trooper is sitting over to the side, and he realizes that the limo is going 70 in a 50. And so he, doing what he's learned to do in school, he pulls the limousine over. And then he sees the driver, and he goes back and he calls his captain, and he said, I don't know quite what to do here. I know sometimes we make some special amends to certain people, but this person I think is very important. And the captain said, well, is it the governor? He goes, no, I think he's more important than that. Well, is it the president? No, I think more important than that. Well, what the heck? I mean, who could it be? He said, I'm thinking it's Jesus because he has Billy Graham as his chauffeur. So you see, it's all relevant, isn't it? It's all perception. And this is the question we ask ourselves every day, that we are here with a task to live on this planet, that we have been given, as Ogmandino says, my life is your gift to me, God, but what I do with my life is my gift back to you. So it's how do we show up in this world? Do we join the weary, or do we shine like the lighthouse? That is always our ongoing question, isn't it? And so in that particular energy, it's how do we, Labor Day was founded in 1894 by President Cleveland to honor the workers, and to honor the workers that did not feel they were treated fairly. This is 1894. But I like to use Labor Day as a point of reference of living a life as purpose, not living a life to find your purpose. Living your life as purpose is about being attentive to, as the song says, Lord, law, listen to the people praying by the action in which they live. Yes? And so in this time, we look at how are we difference makers? How do we respond to life situations that we have right now and turn them into something we feel called to do? Does this work for you? Because I still have a few minutes. Is this okay? All right, good. I'm glad that we are in spiritual harmony with that. I'm reminded of a woman on the mountain that she is walking on her journey, and she finds this precious stone. And the minute she sees it, she knows it's worth a lot. And so she puts it in her bag, and she continues to walk. Well, a homeless man comes up to her, and he goes, can you help me? And she said, yes, I'd be glad to share some food. Look into my bag, take what you would like. Well, he sees this precious stone, and he said, I want that. And she said, you can have it. And as he's walking away, he realizes that this stone that he has is worth so much that it could take care of him for the rest of his life. But he could not stop sitting with that moment. And he walked all the way back, and he found that woman. And he said, I would like to return this to you. And she said, why would you want to do that? He said, I'm much more interested, more than a precious stone, how you have whatever it is inside of you that allowed you to give that to me. Is right. Isn't that the truth? What is it that you have inside of you that allowed you to be on purpose and respond to the moment that is in front of you? Because unless I've seen it different, we all go out in a vase or a box. I know some people are going to be very disappointed because, honey, that's not going to fit in a vase. And for us, in this current time and what we represent and what we stand for, you know, people are always saying, oh, how do we get young people in the church? Well, first of all, act young. That's helpful. But the second thing is, the young people today will not come and sit down in a chair and listen to people talking at them unless they see people doing something. We're way past talking about things and issues in our society, and we are into a place of being the Christ light and showing people how to take care of it. Am I right? Are you with me? Every now and then I love to look at the metaphysical Bible and the teaching, and this is called the fulfillment of the law. In Matthew, do not think that I have come to abolish the law. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. What does that say? Until everything is accomplished. Say that with me. Until everything is accomplished. All those visions you wrote down, they will materialize because we have been told it's a law. Until everything has been accomplished, it is still in the process of being fulfilled. Isn't that exciting? Yes. Very exciting. Along the way on my journey, a dear friend of mine, she was a member of the spiritual community I was at for many years. She mailed me this special package, and it was these beautiful pens. They were pewter pens. They had angels. There were 3 of them, and it said faith, each pen, faith, hope, and love. And they were pretty. And they were so pretty and attractive, inlaid in this, burgundy box that, like so many of you, well, I'm going to save it for a special occasion. I live in California now. I don't say rainy day because that's a whole different kind of dynamic. Are you with me? But anyway, I was saving it for a special occasion. But it was so important to me that I took it. I was doing consulting at a recruitment firm, and I took it and I showed it to some of the staff there. And I knew this particular woman, she had shared with me that this was her favorite scripture of all these things, faith, hope, and love. And so I showed them to her. Well, she was drooling. I mean, she really liked them. And I went, oh, that's good. And I tucked them back and took them back to my area. Well, that particular weekend, I went on a shamanic retreat. And my question, when you go into a retreat, you always take an intentional question. And so I asked the question, what is it within me that I need to expand my heart more? What would that be? And so I go on this journey. I'm in meditation. And the message was, you need to open your heart and give more. And they literally showed me, the angels and guides from the other dimension, they showed me the scene where I had showed this woman these pens and how much she wanted them. And I put them back in my bag. And I received clear instructions that I am to live from the heart of giving. You better know that come Monday morning, I almost ran upstairs to give that woman these pens. That is what we talk about when we talk about building a consciousness, you see. When we talk about heaven and earth, we're not necessarily talking about geographical locations. And in unity, we know that heaven is not real estate. It's about a consciousness, isn't it? It's about a way of life. There's a saying that a person goes to the afterlife and says, I'm here for heaven. And the individuals look at this person and say, you just left there. How was it? How was it? But if you look at the physical being, Earth is here with the lower chakras, and heaven is the upper chakras. You with me? You ready to take this on Sunday morning? Okay. So anybody need to go get a cup of coffee first? So the chakras are, this is the physical, your root chakra. This is your emotional chakra. This is your mental chakra. And these are the way of the earth, the world, the psychology. This is where many people spend their time. They spend their time in the physical, as Reverend Kathy says, the third dimension, about how they're feeling in the mental and the physical and all that. But there is this space here that is called the bridge, and it is, anybody know what it is? It's the heart. It's the heart. You know, people put so much energy into, rightfully so with respect, cancer, COVID, and those kind of things. But the number one cause of death are heart-related issues. Wonder why that's so. Yes? The heart is the bridge to allow the heaven to come in. And that, if that is open, your heart is open, not closed, not hurt, not closed. You know how many people die from a what? Broken heart, yes? And so when we keep our hearts open, when we're hurt, we give more, not less. When we're disappointed, we know our appointment is somewhere else, and we thrive more. When we didn't like what we paid for something, we go give money away to change the energy of begrudging something, yes? And so the upper part of the heart is that it's the throat chakra, the I am right here. The I am, the power of the I am, the third eye, the scanning. You want to know where your teenagers are? Still the physical, and you can see them in a dimension called telepathy. This is 101. Are you with me? And then we bring in the light of our own consciousness. But this is how we stay prayed up, is we're aware of being aligned with the truth of who we are. And we have a responsibility for that. A responsibility, yes? There's this guy, he meets with his construction workers every day. They sit down, they have lunch together. And the guy goes, he's sitting there, he's looking at his sandwich. He says, I can't believe it. Peanut butter and jelly again. And he complains and he eats his sandwich. Then another day, there they are having lunch. Can you believe it? Peanut butter and jelly again. And the guys go, well, why don't you just tell your wife to make you something different? Okay. Do I go further in or further out? I'm stuck over here. So the man goes, I'm not married. I make the sandwiches myself. I appreciate all that extra prop stuff going on there. Thank you. But this is important, is how we take responsibility. My shamanic teacher, she taught me for many, many years, there's the 3 A's that we want to pay attention to in our lives. And she would say, you want to acknowledge something, and you want to accept it, and then you want to allow it. And I worked with that idea for many years. What did I say? You want to acknowledge something, yes? You want to accept it, and then you allow it. And as I told her, as I felt like I was learning more, that particular order no longer worked for me. She wasn't really happy about that. But I said, for me, especially in unity, and we're so clear about we may not want to be negative, that we were too quick to accept something before it teaches us what we need to know. Has that ever happened to you? We're too quick to gloss over something. And I said, so for me, I don't know about other people, but I need to acknowledge what is going on, and I need to allow and sit with it. Feel the feelings, be in the space of it, chew on it a bit, if you will, process it, and then I can move into accepting it. So as life would have it, when you're going to talk about something, you probably know this, you get an experience. So my wife and I returned from Florida, where we used to live, with the emphasis on used to live. This is home now. But we returned to a very trying circumstance that our oldest dog became very ill, and we couldn't figure it out. And we just couldn't understand it. And so we wait to get in to see a vet. You know, they need help. They're way backlogged. So we get into the vet, and then we're waiting on the blood results. And then finally, by Friday evening, 7:30 p.m., we realize if he doesn't get help, he will die. And so we go rushing in the car to one of the hospitals. Don't ask me the name of it, I'm not going to tell you. We go rushing to one of the hospitals, and I'm carrying my one of my greatest loves of my life in my arms. And I'm going, we need help. Thank you. We called you earlier. You said you could take him, blah, blah, blah. That's a miracle. I need your card before we can take him back, your credit card. So I give my card. We need to charge you $145. No problem. Well, we're going to go into another room, but before we can take him back and actually do something, we need another $645. And I went, would you want to just keep my card? I mean, right now I have energy about the well-being of my dog. I'm not being rude. I'm just being real. Well, the doctor will be in a little while, and we'll let you know how much it costs. And I said, excuse me, but I just want you to know that it feels like we're focusing more on the money than we are the well-being of my child. And I said, I'm a principle-based person, and there's something off with that. So that being said, we did work through all of it, but I acknowledged that this didn't feel good, and I was still in the process of allowing. And I told my chosen sister about what had happened with this situation. And I said, and she said, what do people do that don't have the money? Ask them when you go in today to visit your dog, what do people do that now 7,000 in, what do they do that don't have the money? And I said, I'll ask. And so I asked them, and they said, in many cases, a person has to choose whether to let their dog die or live. They use the fancy word euthanization like you don't know what that means. I mean, like, come on. And I said, this doesn't work. So I acknowledged it, that it didn't feel right. I allowed how I felt in that space so I could accept that something needs to happen. And like my sister said, we need to start a fund, Unity of Santa Barbara, to help a family that would have to be going through something like that they have to then decide that they have to let their animal die because they don't have the money to pay for it. Are you with me? Yeah. So my family and I are giving $1,000 today towards that Pet Angel Fund. And if you would like to join us, go for it, because we will take care of it. We have another $500 towards the Pet Ministry Fund. Life is making a difference at Unity of Santa Barbara. Yes, because we take our experiences and we make them different, and we do something about it. And this is the teaching not only for my family, but for all of you, whatever you have found yourself experiencing or walking through, instead of being in the third dimension of it, instead of focusing on the lower aspects of yourself, look at what are you called to chauffeur in? What are you called to focus on that can make a difference in this life? That's usually why you're having the situation happen in the first place. Yes, that's where great inventions come from. That's where people making a difference come from, is that. And by the way, I realize I didn't tell you, the dog is out of, so I want you to come back. He is out of the woods, and we believe he is going to pull out of this. So we give him a great big hand. Thank you for caring. But I could feel that I left you there, and I needed you to come over here. Come pick you up in my limo there. we have situations where often people will say, but Reverend Temple, there's so many things so many needs, so many things that people, have needs that I don't know what to do. That never excuses anyone from doing something. If everybody would do a little something, nobody would have to do a big something. Right? You know how I feel about that when people say we don't have enough money here. It's like, not on me. Yeah. Everybody does a little something. Nobody has to do a big something. Right? And so it's, how can we be that? And then people go, well, I work, I got kids, I got grandkids at work, I just don't have the energy. How many worn out birds have you ever seen over at the beach? I mean, when you're walking the beach, really do you go, it's so hard being a bird. I have so many responsibilities. I don't know how I do it. Oh my God, bird work is hard. I wonder why that is. They are born of the same nature and infinity that we are they not? First of all, they never struggle with who they are. They're a bird. They like being a bird. They never want to be anything else. And they know that energy comes from God. It doesn't come from them. We have to maintain energy, but we don't have to go out and pick it in the ration line. I've been on planes with people on Monday, and they're already talking about how tired they're going to be on Friday. Are you kidding me? It's Monday. Well, the kids are coming over. I'm going to be worn out before they leave. Is that like affirmative prayer? Yes, it is. If you're around kids, your energy is going to lift up. You see how we have these twisted beliefs. People ask me all the time, how do you have so much energy? Because I don't produce it in the morning. I use what's there. It's infinite. If the stars can stay in the sky and the moon can hold its place and we can have prayers on the moon, we got this. You maintain, you rest, you sleep. You can clap. I like it when you clap. And extra lights and all that. But the point is that that's how I have so much energy, because my energy comes from God, not me. It's not my DNA. It's that I made a decision that I was going to have energy because it's infinite, because nature is infinite, and all you got to do is pull it into yourself. But if you're living in a system of affirmative prayer, I don't have this, and I'm tired, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm that, and you're 30, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? And so we don't have rations, and energy isn't compartmentalized. It doesn't say, well, I use this at church, and I use this with my family, and I use that. Oop, it's Thursday, I'm out. Don't bother me till Monday till I get some more. No, it's a fulfillment of the law. We are here as energetic, dynamic, beautiful spirits. Are you with me? Yes. Bring in that energy of your life. Stop labeling it, and you'll have more than you can ever use. And you respond to yes, what is in front of you. What would that look like? When I feel like I need to be more congruent, I think of this little boy named Jimmy Scott. And Jimmy's a kid, and he's with his mom, and he's going to apply for this part in the play at school. And his mom's very concerned because she doesn't feel that he's going to get it. But she's with him all the way, and she goes to all the practices and everything. And finally, the day comes that they're going to announce who got the parts. And little Jimmy, he runs out to his mom, and he's so happy. And she said, honey, what part did you get? And he said, Mommy, I got the part that I get to clap and cheer. We can do mighty things. If two or more are gathered, look how many people are in this room. There's a king that goes up to one of his students and said, you have done such an amazing job that I would like you to take this stick And he said, I'd like you to draw a circle around what part of the territory of this land that you would like to own. And the student looks at him and said, yes, I will. And so he draws a circle around himself. And the king said, that's all you want? Is what's in the circle? He said, absolutely not. Oh no, I want everything outside of this circle. Expand my territory, O dear Lord, that I may expand indeed, and all will be well. This land is your land, is not just a song. It is the truth of your being. Thank you for being spiritual warriors, and thank you for coming today. God bless you. Thank you.
Your phone, you're getting a message. So this last week, I wanted to partner with Temple and BB as they went through this journey with their dog, because I didn't want them to feel like they were walking the journey alone. And so I said to Temple, let me do the Sunday service. I don't know how you're going to get up there and do it. And she was so good. She said, when I'm at service, when I am in service, I get fed and I get healed. I know that you helped to heal her today, and you did a spectacular job. So, yeah. All right. Well, this is the time in our service where we receive our grateful gifts and tithes. So I'm going to ask you to take your tithes in your hands, and there's many ways that you can give. Of course, you can go to our website, and we have all sorts of buttons that you can push so that you can give, and then we will gratefully receive. So for those of you that have your gifts in your hands, let's just in your minds, if you're about ready to do it online, just take a moment and let us be very mindful of the words we're about ready to say. And I'm going to say each little bit, and then I'm going to ask you to repeat each bit with me. And that is, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I share. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I share. Take a moment. And so I ask, dear God, that you not only bless these gifts that are being given here today, I ask that you bless each of the givers. And as each giver gives from a heart of kindness and generosity, I ask that it come back to them 1,000-fold and even more in return. For this blessing, we do give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
One morning you had
Fantastic. Well, we have our closing announcements, and as Reverend Temple mentioned, we have next Sunday is our Friendship Sunday. Bring your friends, show up big, because we also are going to be having our time where there's going to be books out here and jewelry and handmade soaps and book signings by Penny Little in the back. And her book is called This Is Not a Coloring Book. It's fantastic, by the way. And then we have Sanderson Beck. He's also going to be signing his book on Wisdom Bible. It's going to be big. Bring your friends so that you can show off the spiritual community, right? I came in this last Thursday and I witnessed something so beautiful. As you know, great things are happening here. And what happened was that our offices are on the top of the chapel. Temple and I have our offices there. And I was getting ready to walk into my office and I look into the chapel and there was this beautiful group of people. The energy was thriving and they were all taking the class from Reverend Michelle. She's fantastic. Fantastic. So every Thursday she teaches a spiritual class. Because she's going to be visiting her dad in Glendale this next Thursday, we have Dr. Jim Quacko in the house, and he's a great doctor, he's a great teacher, he's a great metaphysician. He's going to be teaching the 23rd Psalm and he's going to be doing a prayer and meditation, and we'd love to have you join him Thursday, 10 o'clock to noon. Also, we have our Gourmets for God, and once again, we're going to show this one video so you know kind of where we're going and what we're doing.
I have hosted sushi making.
Reverend Deborah made soups, 4 different kinds of soups, and then I made my chocolates and confections, and then we had this buffet.
We hosted a 4th of July celebration with a sing-along,
played music, we had lots of food, and we had lots of drinks.
A pickle making event.
And last year I did the Salmon Fest.
Rolling rice and rolling dough, and it was really, really fun. There was sake involved, I will say.
We broke bread and told stories, and it was the most fun event that I've had in a long time.
Over the number of years, we've created literally hundreds of events that, as Jan pointed out, have touched thousands of lives in this community.
A genuine way of connecting with people.
It was fascinating to hear people's stories and really get to know people beyond just church-centric.
It's really nice to be able to get a little deeper into somebody's life story or their sense of humor or, you know, those kind of things that you don't really get passing each other in church. What I love about Gourmets for God is that it's an opportunity to expand my community.
Attending them is my way of meeting people.
I love Gourmets for God.
And you too
And it's just a way to
love
really
Gourmets for God. I just want you to
Connect
know this.
on a deeper level to this community.
There we go. What we are needing are some hosts. Last week we had 5 people sign up. I'm one of them. Bibi and I are going to be doing a gluten-free, sugar-free, something free. We're thinking maybe doing a cooking class and a dinner. So that's one of the things that we're still planning. So for the next month, we're asking for hosts. People just coming up with different ideas, and then how it works is that it's like an auction. After we get all of the hosts, then you bid on which ones you want to attend. And as we go along, I'll kind of coach you along. I will be at the welcome table. If you have any questions about that, I would like to explain it to you a little bit more. Also, how many of you, 3 years ago, I did the choir and Noreen and I, we did the World Day of Prayer. We did the healing services. How many of you attended those? They're pretty fantastic, aren't they? What happens is that we do an old-fashioned healing service. If you are in need of some kind of healing, I am inviting you to be a part of this, because it is in group consciousness. We have seen some magnificent miracles happen. So that's this coming Thursday at 6:30. We have our healers in place. We have a beautiful service in place. We have song in place. It is a fantastic service this coming Thursday at 6:30. Also, I want you to just take a moment. I'm going to put Penny on the spot here for a minute. Penny, if you will, bring the camera back a little bit so that the congregation, and I want all of you to turn around to the camera back there above the door and wave, because there is a forgotten part of our congregation. They are the Garden Court Retirement Home. So we thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We don't want them to feel like they have been forgotten. And so there are retirement homes of congregational members who have been a big part of the history of this church. So one of the things, they want to be a part of this. They want to be here. So we are going to help to pay for tickets for rides on Easy Lift. It's like, I think it's like $3.50 per person. And what we would like, Peggy's going to be here at the welcome table as well, but we'll have a basket there. If you want to donate to their cause, to being a part of this congregation, we'll have that there. As I said, good, that's between animals and people, we have got you covered. So, all that being said, my friends, yeah, come on up, girlfriend.
Well, I just wanted to say that our very own Penny Little is now officially the executive director of Summer Solstice of Santa Barbara.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We are in the presence of greatness, my friends. And count yourself as part of that greatness.
Yeah.
Also, just to let you know, we just have $2,000 remaining until we match that $50,000 mark. So we're most grateful if you are feeling most generous today and you want to give that $2,000 or split it with some people there, then we are open and receptive to receiving. We're very happy. So with that now, let us sing our peace song. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us.